Hello, everyone. Welcome to this English learning session. Today, we're going to focus on improving your English conversation skills through listening and comprehension. Listening to English conversations is absolutely essential for developing your language abilities. It helps you improve not just your listening skills, but also your speaking, your comprehension, and even your pronunciation. Before we dive in, I want to ask you a question. Do you prefer village life or city life? Think about it for a moment. What appeals to you more? The quiet, peaceful atmosphere of a village or the bustling, dynamic energy of a city? Feel free to comment below with your answer. I'd love to hear your perspective on this. Now let me share my thoughts on this fascinating topic. I've had the opportunity to experience both village life and city life, and I can honestly say that both have their unique advantages and disadvantages. Let me use an important phrase here: pros and cons. This is a very common English expression that means advantages and disadvantages. You'll hear this phrase a lot in everyday conversation, so it's worth remembering. Let's start by talking about village life. When I think about villages, the first thing that comes to mind is the incredible sense of peace and tranquility. In a village, you're surrounded by nature. You wake up to the sound of birds chirping, not car horns blaring. The air is fresh and clean, not filled with pollution and exhaust fumes. There's something deeply calming about being close to nature, about seeing green fields, forests, and open skies every day. Another wonderful aspect of village life is the sense of community. In villages, people know their neighbors. They don't just know their names, they know their families, their stories, their struggles, and their joys. There's a genuine warmth and friendliness that you find in village communities. People are more willing to help each other. If you need something, your neighbor will lend it to you without hesitation. If you're going through a difficult time, the community rallies around you to offer support. This kind of close-knit social fabric is becoming increasingly rare in modern society. Village life also tends to be simpler and less stressful. There's no rush hour traffic to deal with, no constant pressure to keep up with the latest trends, no overwhelming number of choices for everything you do. Life moves at a slower, more natural pace. You have time to appreciate the small things: a beautiful sunset, a conversation with a friend, a home-cooked meal with your family. This simplicity can be incredibly refreshing, especially for people who feel overwhelmed by the complexity of modern life. However, village life also has its challenges. One of the biggest drawbacks is the lack of advanced facilities and infrastructure. Villages often don't have access to the same quality of healthcare, education, or technology that cities offer. If you need specialized medical treatment, you might have to travel to a city. If you want access to a wide range of educational institutions or courses, your options in a village are limited. Internet connectivity can be poor or unreliable, which is increasingly important in our digital world. Employment opportunities are another concern. In villages, the job market is much more limited. Most people work in agriculture or traditional crafts, and there aren't many options for people with specialized skills or interests. If you're ambitious and want to pursue a career in technology, finance, media, or many other fields, you'll likely need to move to a city. Now let's talk about city life. Cities are exciting, dynamic places full of energy and opportunity. One of the greatest advantages of living in a city is the sheer number of opportunities available. Whether you're looking for education, employment, or entertainment, cities offer countless options. You can find excellent schools and universities, diverse job opportunities in every imaginable field, and endless entertainment options. theaters, concerts, museums, restaurants, clubs, and more. Cities are also incredibly diverse. You'll meet people from different backgrounds, cultures, and countries. This exposure to diversity can be mind-opening. It broadens your perspective, challenges your assumptions, and helps you grow as a person. You learn to appreciate different ways of thinking, different traditions, and different viewpoints. This cultural richness is one of the most valuable aspects of city life. In cities, you also have access to better infrastructure and services. Healthcare facilities are more advanced, with specialized doctors and modern equipment. Public transportation systems make it easy to get around without a car. Shopping centers, supermarkets, and stores offer everything you could possibly need. The convenience of city life is undeniable. However, city life comes with significant downsides as well. Cities are crowded, sometimes overwhelmingly so. Rush hour traffic can be nightmarish, public spaces are often packed with people, and finding a quiet moment to yourself can be challenging. This constant crowd and noise can be exhausting and stressful. Pollution is another major concern. Air pollution from vehicles and factories can cause serious health problems. Noise pollution is constant: sirens, construction, traffic, people talking. Even light pollution from street lights and buildings can affect your sleep quality. The environmental quality in cities is generally much worse than in villages. City life is also more expensive. Rent or property prices are significantly higher, groceries cost more, transportation adds up, and the temptation to spend money on entertainment and dining out is constant. Many people in cities struggle financially despite earning decent salaries because the cost of living is so high. Then there's the issue of relationships. In cities, people tend to be more independent and self-reliant. While this can be empowering, it also means that community bonds are weaker. You might not know your neighbors beyond a polite nod in the hallway. When you face difficulties, you often have to handle them on your own rather than relying on a supportive community. This independence can sometimes feel like isolation, especially during tough times. So what's the answer? Which is better, village life or city life? The truth is, there's no universal answer. It depends entirely on your individual priorities, preferences, and lifestyle. If you value peace, simplicity, and strong community connections, a village might be perfect for you. If you thrive on excitement, diversity, and opportunity, a city might be your ideal home. Some people even try to find a balance, perhaps living in a smaller town that offers some of the peace of village life while still providing reasonable access to city amenities. The important thing is to understand what you value most in life and make choices that align with those values. And remember, your preferences might change over time. Someone who loves city life in their 20s might crave the peace of a village in their 50s, or vice versa. Life is a journey, and it's okay for your needs and wants to evolve. Keeping pets, another important decision. Let me shift to another interesting topic that people often have strong opinions about: keeping pets. This is another area where people's preferences vary widely, and understanding different perspectives can help improve your conversational English. Some people absolutely love having pets in their homes. They see pets as wonderful companions who provide unconditional love and affection. Dogs, in particular, are known for their loyalty. They're always happy to see you, regardless of what kind of day you've had. They don't judge you, they don't hold grudges, and they offer comfort when you're feeling down. Studies have shown that having a pet can reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and even help with depression and anxiety. For many people, pets aren't just animals, they're family members. Pets can also encourage you to be more active and responsible. If you have a dog, you need to walk it regularly, which means you're getting exercise and fresh air. Taking care of a pet teaches responsibility, routine, and time management. For children, growing up with pets can teach empathy, compassion, and respect for other living beings. However, not everyone is enthusiastic about keeping pets indoors. Some people have valid concerns about the work and responsibility involved. Pets require daily care, feeding, grooming, exercise, and attention. They can't be neglected, even when you're tired or busy. If you want to travel, you need to arrange pet care, which can be expensive and complicated. Pets also require regular veterinary care, which adds to the cost and time commitment. Health concerns are another factor. Some people have allergies to pet dander, which can cause sneezing, itching, watery eyes, or even more serious respiratory problems. Even people without allergies might be concerned about hygiene issues. Pets can shed fur, track in dirt, have accidents inside the house, or develop unpleasant odors if not properly maintained. Then there's the issue of potential damage. Puppies might chew on furniture, cats might scratch surfaces, and any pet might have accidents on carpets or floors. Some pets are naturally destructive, especially if they're bored, anxious, or not properly trained. Repairing or replacing damaged items can be costly and frustrating. The decision to get a pet shouldn't be taken lightly. It requires honest self-assessment. Do you have the time to care for a pet properly? Do you have the financial resources to cover food, supplies, and veterinary care? Do you have the patience to train and socialize the animal? Are you prepared for the long-term commitment, potentially 10-15 years or more? These are crucial questions to consider before bringing a pet into your home. If you do decide to get a pet, research is essential. Different animals have different needs. Dogs need regular exercise and social interaction. Cats are more independent but still need attention and care. Smaller pets like hamsters or fish require less space but still need proper habitats and care. Understanding what you're getting into will help ensure that both you and your pet are happy. Dealing with heartbreak, an important life skill. Now let's talk about something more serious, dealing with difficult emotions, specifically heartbreak. Learning to discuss emotional topics in English is important because these conversations happen in real life, and being able to express yourself during tough times is a valuable skill. Heartbreak is one of the most painful experiences a person can go through. When a romantic relationship ends, especially if it ends badly, it can feel devastating. You might feel lost, confused, angry, sad, or all of these emotions at once. If betrayal is involved, such as discovering that your partner was cheating, the pain is even more intense. It's not just the loss of the relationship, it's the loss of trust, the feeling of being deceived by someone you loved and believed in. When someone is going through heartbreak, they often feel like they'll never recover. They might say things like, "I thought she was the one," or "I don't know what to do." These feelings are completely normal and valid. Heartbreak affects people deeply, and there's no right way to feel or quick fix to make the pain go away. However, there are healthy ways to cope with heartbreak and move forward. First and foremost, it's important to allow yourself to feel your emotions. Don't try to suppress or ignore your sadness, anger, or hurt. These emotions need to be acknowledged and processed. It's okay to cry, to feel upset, to need time alone. Healing isn't a linear process, and it takes time. That said, while it's important to feel your emotions, it's equally important not to get stuck in them. This is where the phrase "time heals all wounds" comes in. This is a common English expression that means that with enough time, even the worst emotional pain will eventually fade. While you might not believe it when you're in the depths of heartbreak, it's true. The intense pain you feel today won't feel as sharp in a few weeks or months. During this healing process, it's crucial to take care of yourself. Focus on activities that bring you joy or peace. Reconnect with hobbies you might have neglected. Spend time with friends and family who support you and care about you. Exercise regularly. Physical activity releases endorphins that can improve your mood. Eat healthy foods, get enough sleep, and avoid unhealthy coping mechanisms like excessive drinking or isolating yourself completely. It's also important to remember your worth. When someone cheats or treats you badly, it's easy to blame yourself or question what you did wrong. But the truth is, someone else's bad behavior is a reflection of them, not you. You deserve to be treated with love, respect, and honesty. The fact that this particular relationship didn't work out doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It means this person wasn't right for you, and now you have the opportunity to eventually find someone who is. Improving your English speaking skills. Now that we've explored these important topics, let's talk about how you can improve your English speaking skills. After all, that's why you're here, isn't it? Learning vocabulary is essential for speaking English fluently. The conversations we've discussed today introduced several useful words and phrases. Terms like pros and cons, time heals all wounds, the one, and expressions about feelings and relationships. These are all part of natural, everyday English. The more vocabulary you acquire, the more confidently you can express yourself. But vocabulary alone isn't enough. You need to practice actually speaking English. There are several effective ways to do this. One approach is to talk to yourself in English as you go about your day. Narrate what you're doing. Now I'm making breakfast. I'm going to have eggs and toast. Describe what you see. The weather looks nice today. The sky is blue and there are only a few clouds. This might feel strange at first, but it's an excellent way to practice without pressure. Another method is to seek out opportunities to chat in English with real people. This could be through language exchange apps, online conversation groups, or in-person meetups if you live in an area where English speakers gather. Real conversations are invaluable because they force you to think on your feet, understand different accents and speaking styles, and respond naturally. One particularly powerful technique is recording yourself speaking English. I know this can feel uncomfortable. Listening to your own voice often does, but once you get used to it, recording yourself becomes an incredibly useful tool for improvement. When you listen back to your recordings, you'll likely be surprised by two things. First, you'll probably notice that you speak English better than you thought you did. We tend to be our own harshest critics, and hearing yourself from an outside perspective can boost your confidence. You might discover that your pronunciation is clearer than you realized, or that you're using more advanced vocabulary than you gave yourself credit for. Second, you'll be able to identify specific areas for improvement. Maybe you notice that you struggle with certain sounds, or that you speak too quickly when you're nervous, or that you overuse certain words or phrases. This awareness is the first step toward improvement. Once you know what needs work, you can focus your practice on those specific areas. Speaking English is also a physical activity. It's a workout for your mouth and tongue. Different languages use different muscle movements, so practicing English pronunciation is like going to the gym for your mouth. The more you practice, the more natural and comfortable these movements become. Your mouth starts to remember how to make English sounds, and speaking becomes more effortless. Finally, remember that improving your English is a journey, not a destination. There's no point where you suddenly become fluent and never need to learn anything else. Even native speakers continue to learn new words, expressions, and ways of communicating throughout their lives. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your progress, and enjoy the process of learning. Thank you for spending this time practicing your English with me today. I hope these conversations and discussions have been helpful. If you found this useful, I'd appreciate your support. And most importantly, keep practicing, keep learning, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're an essential part of the learning process. Remember, the most powerful way to improve your English speaking skills is simply to use them. So go out there and speak. Practice reflection questions. 1. What are 3 advantages of village life that resonated with you? 2. Can you think of a personal experience that relates to either village or city living? 3. What's your opinion on keeping pets and why? 4. Have you ever had to deal with a difficult emotional situation? How did you cope? 5. Which English learning technique mentioned here will you try first?